Okay, so we are in Englewood area. Just referencing the map because we're gonna drive around a little bit, but we're in Englewood, but Englewood is also this whole section here. And then north of that is, or it's north of Rotunda, which is this circular section that we're seeing right here. So we are about to turn onto Lighthouse, which actually this road that I'm on right now is Oceanspray. So this is where your friend lives, Oceanspray Boulevard. It's a longer one, it's a bigger one, but we are going to turn onto Lighthouse and show you where that particular home that we saw was gonna get built, the Miranda home. And then I'll show you what some of the neighbors' homes look like, just so that you can kind of get a feel for it. This area right here is, there are a lot of newer built homes in this section of Englewood that's north of Rotunda. You can see some of them are on the bigger side. There's a lot of 3-car garage here. This land has a really competitive price, as there's still a lot of empty lots still available, versus let's say Venice, which has hardly any open lots available. So the land is affordable here. A lot of new builds are happening because it's affordable for the builder. So that we're on Lighthouse right now. So this is what the street looks like overall. And then we'll come up upon where the lot itself is. But this will kind of give you an idea of what some of these Florida homes look like. So this is like a newer Florida home, really pretty. I'm going to open up my window so you can kind of see the actual coloring. So this is what a newer Florida home looks like. You've got the columns, you've got the cement, you've got the pavers. This one happens to have the 3-car garage and a garage for the boat. So you can see that all the way to the left. This one, the front looks a little bit funny. They have hurricane shutters in front of it right now. So they are probably snowbirds and not here right now for the season. But this is just an example of what the newer Florida homes tend to look like, and which is why it's a little bit harder to find that bungalow style, because of the, it's just the style. The bungalow style has, I feel like, more character, more craftsmanship, which is really, really nice. But for Florida area over here, they tend to do a little bit more simple on the outside. Sorry, hello, just some neighbors, hi. So this is another boat garage and like an RV garage. So this right here, this is an example of what the smaller Florida homes tend to look like. We call them like a shoebox style, because just plain there's no front porch area. This probably has a lanai, which is the back porch, and like a pool cage and stuff like that. But this is what they typically look like in Englewood when you're looking at the older builds. This would be more maybe close to a bungalow in that it's smaller, but it's not. I understand what you're saying, where it's not having that front character. So that would be the direct neighbor, actually, of the lot of the house on Lighthouse that you were interested in. So I'm gonna just pull over right here, actually, so you can see. Kind of come over here a little bit. Okay. So this is the lot that they're planning to build this veranda home on, and they might actually do 2, because this is wide enough for it to be 2 lots. And I'll just show you what they have here. This is a different coloring and front elevation but it's similar to the style that we looked at. So you've got the front look of it, and then you have here the floor plan, and this is the 4-bedroom. So you have the 2 bedrooms here, another one in the back. It's split floor plan, and the master is on this side. And you have a kitchen with the walk-in pantry, which is quite nice. And you even have this flex room in the front. So that could be a dining room, or you could use it as an office if you wanted to do a dining room or something here. So there's a lot of options with that. I know that the one that we saw, I think the floor plan was a little bit different. And that's something where, this is just a kind of like a generic ad. They're going to have it come soon. But once they start doing the house itself, and I look at the permits of these specific lots, I think that's going to reference back to the specific home you liked. So right across the street from that is this home. It's actually pretty nice. It looks like the owner has this home and this other lot over here too, because it's been flat and they maintain the grass over there. That's pretty common for people to own more than one lot in this area. This is a little bit more like the older style home, where it's a little bit smaller, 1-car garage. It looks like they have a newer roof though. And then this is an example of like a newer Florida home. And actually, this one is kind of cute with the pink door. I'm kind of partial to pink. But you could see here, it's a taller elevation. So this probably has 9.9'4" or 10-foot ceiling on the inside. It also has a 3-car garage. But this is pretty nice, very clean, well kept. So that would be like your neighbor across into the angle, because this is a lot over here. This is the other neighbor that would be to the other side of you. So this is like that mid-age. This would probably be a home from maybe the early 90s. So this is just that style. You can see more of like the block. They have like a kind of like a little courtyard type of situation going on in the front. This home, same exact front elevation, like the way that the front looks or the design as this one here. So those were probably built around the same time. Same builder who would have bought several lots in the area, and they just built their spec home. So I just wanted you to see what some of these homes look like here. They play it up with the vegetation. They have some pottery in the front. You can do some nice stuff with the landscaping. So this is another home where this is a house on the corner. They decided to make their home face another inner side street. Then they have this lot back here as an additional backyard. And if they wanted to, the county does allow you be able to fence in that whole thing if they wanted to, but they just have it open. But you can see they keep the grass short and it's very clean. Back here, they have a little fountain going on. This is another home. This has like a little bit of a front porch, not really, like more like an entryway, I guess, depending on how you want to define porch. This home is older. They've got a lot of shade with this tree, more landscaping. Now, we're not in an HOA community, so people really do have free reign to manage their property however they want, unless it's impeding on another person's property. You know, you can only do so much to kind of call out and correct it if you had to. But for the most part, people, you know, keep their property looking really nice. I mean, this one looks, you know, awesome. They fenced in their front area, their front entry area. So if they wanted to sit out there and have a cup of coffee or something like that, they totally could. They have a garage on the side. This is a newer built home. I can just tell from just the general structure. This is a newer built home. You can see, you know, it can be very simple, and it's up to the owner how much they want to dress it up or decorate and add personality to it. So this is right here. We're at Lighthouse and Willig Ave. But this right here would be like your immediate neighbors. And, you know, if you wanted to walk your dog or go for a little jog or ride a bike, this is what you would see primarily. So I'm going to get back to my car and then we'll continue the video. So the location of the property that would be built on Lighthouse is actually less than 2 minutes away from your friend on Oceanspray. So we're gonna just do a little drive-by and take a look at it. So this is the intersection of Sunnybrook and Oceanspray. From this location, we are about 16 minutes from Englewood Beach. That's gonna take you past shops and some restaurants, and then Englewood Beach has almost like a little downtown right across the street from the beach itself, where there's several restaurants that do live music and they have bars, and that tends to be a lot of fun for a lot of people who are visiting the area and live in Englewood. They really like that live music scene, drinks on the beach at sunset. I also know that they have different beach activities. They'll do like yoga and stuff on the beach in the morning time if you're an early riser. So that's pretty nice. Englewood in general is probably, there's a lot of opportunity for development for commercial business. They're kind of like rebuilding their downtown and their commercial shopping area. There isn't a Target in Englewood, but there is a Walmart, and there's like other little shops that you can go. So right here in the corner, this is 11285 Oceanspray. I'm gonna just pull over because somebody's behind me. But this is where your friend lives. So you can see kind of like the style of his home. Just gonna let these cars pass by. So he's got like a little bit of a covered front entrance area, and the style of his home had this extra architecture in the front. I don't know if you can see that so well there. I can always send you pictures of his place. I'll look back at the video and check. But that is, this is one of his neighbors. So that's got like a lot of more character. And then this is his direct neighbor, which is one of those newer style homes. Englewood out here, there are a good number of snowbirds. So while there may be like an average number of homes out here, a lot of people are not always here, especially in the summertime, because, you know, they're doing the snowbird thing. They're living somewhere else. So you will see that Englewood, I think, compared to, let's say, Venice, and especially compared to Sarasota, during certain times of the year, there's going to be less traffic, less people. It's pretty calm, very easygoing. It's just got that nice appeal, and then you're, you know, still very close to the beach. This is another one that has like a more modern look to it. Let's see this one over here. They have the whole big boat situation going on. So just so you can kind of see, this house in front of us is probably more similar to what the home on East Frey looks like. You like past the truck, of course, and you'll see a lot of homes that are like that with the 1-car garage. This is, you know, a small home, but with the 2-car garage. And I'm gonna just make my way back to Oceanspray. But yeah, so I was talking about the commercials. So you'll find Walmart and you'll find Publix. That's the main supermarket down here in Florida. You'll have Beal's shopping. I think there's a Marshall's, and lots of like small mom and pop places to shop at. But if you needed to do like a TJ Maxx home goods run, which I don't know about you, but I love those stores, you would go to Port Charlotte or to Venice for that. Look, someone painted this mural on their garage. So, like, okay, it's not painted, it's just a fabric. So maybe they do some type of event here, or some type of something. But that's like an example though of like, you just never know what you might see in Florida. This is pretty nice to get to see actually right now. So this is what the lot looks like when they clear it of any trees. So they would essentially do that on the lot on Lighthouse. They're gonna clear it, they're gonna flatten it, they're gonna compact the ground that is already existing here, and then they're gonna bring what they call fill, and that's a mixture of dirt and sand and different I guess levels of fill that they end up putting to compact, and they're gonna build it up. Yeah, my hand is moving, but you can't really see it. They're gonna build this up to a certain height, and then they're gonna fill it and compact it, so that way they build the home on top of that. They do that so that this section is actually not flood zone. It's not in a flood zone, it's flood zone X, which means you're not required to have flood insurance. This area is not in a flood zone, but with newer codes that the builders have to maintain, they will start to build the homes higher and higher. So let me see if I can kind of show you an example of that a little bit right here, actually. Okay, so yep, right here. I'm gonna come out of the car and just give you this little, like a little tutorial. This is not scripted, by the way, I apologize. So, all right. I'm gonna use my zoom in to not have to walk all the way around, but this home right here, that is an older built home. It's existed in the area. You can see a little bit from the street area, there's a little bit of a rise up on the grass there. That is what the builders would do at the time that one was getting built. So let me zoom out here. So now, this is a newer built home, probably built in the last 3 years. This home might have been built in the last 10 years, but let's see if I can. So I don't know if you're able to see this right here in the middle. That's an easement. Those are required by the county, where it's just at the property line. They kind of grade it down. Water would flow through there. Like if any water were to collect on the property, it comes down between the houses and not in the houses. And then you can see here, these fronts, since there's no like public sewer, what they do is they have these canals built in front of all the homes, and if there's any excess water, it collects there. It would obviously drain underneath the garage, but you would be able to have any excess water collect here, and then eventually it gets absorbed by the, sorry, I saw that person coming. I didn't know if he was trying to talk to me. So you can see here though that, like, you know, how high this home is built up, and I'm gonna just get down to how much higher that home is built up versus, let's say, this one that had been built years ago. And then even this one down here in the corner might have been maybe in between one and the other, but you can see how the backyard was, how they technically raise it and they fill it. Eventually the grass grows over it. But you can see here, you know, where that baseline is. So that house itself stands higher than this one does. And all of that is to just protect the property, the homes themselves. You know, if there's any excess water, it's gonna go into these easements, is what they call them over here. Hopefully avoid the streets. There are definitely some streets that they just naturally, you know, will collect water. Not that you can't drive through them or anything, but they just, you know, when you get here, you'll see when it rains, Florida rain, it can rain really, really hard for like 20 minutes. And it can just take a little bit of time for the water to collect, or to be absorbed. And then it disappears, and then you don't even know that it rained, you know, within an hour. But I just wanted to show you all of that so you could see, because it's, you know, I'm sure a different kind of build and architecture and structure from what you might be used to. So, but yeah, so we are pulling up again right across the street from where your friend is. I believe it's Troy. I just don't want to say the wrong name if it's not right. I know that Omar was the one who was on the transaction, so but that's his place. So that would be 2 minutes away from that one. If there's any other ones that you're interested in the area, I can definitely do more videos like this. If there is an existing home, one that's already built that you think that you might like in the area, I can absolutely go take a look at it and do like a full video tour of the property. So talk to you soon.